we've been tasked with an assignment to use our voice to do the kingdom work. And so the girls are bad. The girls are bad. The girls are bad. The girls are bad.
You are now tuned into your favorite homegirls.
And I am Jazy the Empress, aka Jazzy Rich. Run that back, babes. Run that back. Cause your intro definitely cut off.
You are now tuned into your favorite homegirls. I'm Randi Noble.
And I am Jazy the Empress, aka Jazzy Rich. And we are your Conscious Baddie Coaches.
Welcome to our collective and movement dedicated to the next generation of bold leaders.
Exactly. As voices of this new digital era, we are redefining influence one baddie at a time.
Yes, we don't follow the herd. We set the standard and walk boldly in our purpose because this is bigger than us.
Yeah, it's about building legacy over likes, shifting the culture, and leaving an impact that outlives the timeline.
Because together, we not only run the world,
we transform it. I know that's right.
Yes. Welcome back, homegirls and homies, to another episode of the Conscious Baddies podcast.
Yay! It's February.
It is.
This is honestly, Randi and I were just talking about how January is honestly like one of our new favorite months because the girls got it in. Like that type of momentum that we have at the first month of the year is so lit. Like God really did his big one in January. So I already know February is about to be magical because we're only kicking it up a notch.
Hello, and it's my bestie's birthday month, Feb4. So we are
out the door. Yeah.
We are live and in color. We are active, and we have a girls trip at the end of the month. So we are just we are really looking forward to. We're doing a lot of traveling, actually. You and I both before our girls trip too.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely about to be in LA like in a couple days, and I cannot wait to be in the warm weather on the beach. I'm just like, I'm so thankful, y'all. I'm just overflowing with like joy and gratitude because God has really been doing his big one, and I'm so thankful.
Yes. What a blessed solar return.
Blessed.
Well, let's get into this topic today. Okay. We are still in our flow of personal growth. This is our theme. And so our next lesson for this theme is all about the one, the only emotional maturity.
Yeah. Let's get into what your triggers are really trying to teach you because they're yelling loud and clear. Do you hear them? And most of all, do you understand the language that your triggers speak? Because they're only talking to you. Okay.
Hello. And if you're not paying attention and you're misreading, you are being misled. Okay.
Ooh,
and so good. We want to go ahead and just share our experiences and just enlighten you and just create a conversation around this because I feel like the term triggered can be kind of played out and overused, especially in this day and age. But there's layers to this. There's layers to this word.
It is. And it's something that I feel like triggered is a fairly, even though it's played out, it's definitely, I feel like it's
new
maybe
age,
like 20 and beyond. Like it's still like a new age term. And it's something that we have as a collective, just as people in general, we've been able to coin the term when you feel a type of way, basically, or when somebody says something or does something that might get under your skin or make you tick or make you react or respond in a certain way. And I think it's very important that we get into it, because you do not want your triggers running your life. Okay. And the conscious baddie code of the day and for this episode is, if you don't rule your emotions, they will rule your life. And they will. Okay. How many of y'all are easily triggered? Because I definitely used to easily be triggered.
Be honest. And even now, I have to catch myself, because it's not like you won't be triggered. That's the thing. You will be triggered. What are you going to do when it happens?
Yes. And like when we get into the definition, because we're all about our conscious baddie vocab, and we're going to tap into what emotional maturity means. But to start off, what does triggered mean? It's activated by a trigger. So that's like the mechanism, but it's really of a response. So it's caused by particular action, process, or situation. It can cause an event or a situation to happen or exist. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's like, when it comes to triggers, right? Because like you said, you're still going to have triggers. They don't just go away. However, when it comes down to emotional maturity, you feel the triggers and you respond accordingly instead of react. This is all a part of personal development and self-awareness, knowing yourself and being able to rule your emotions instead of have your emotions rule your life. Okay.
And let's get into our next definition of emotional maturity. Yes. This is the ability to understand, manage, and express emotions in a healthy, constructive manner. It involves high self-awareness, personal accountability, that's our favorite word, for actions, so accountability for actions, and empathy for others. Rather than suppressing feelings, an emotionally mature person actually navigates the challenges, the stress, conflict, all of that with resilience, composure, and typically a sense of calm. That is an emotionally mature person.
That's so good.
Clock it.
Clock the T with the definition, because I feel like another thing is we speak on emotional maturity and emotional intelligence, right? And I hear it the most when we're talking about dating, honestly, dating and just relationships in general when you're dealing with other people, because, this is one thing that can actually ruin relationships, emotional immaturity and your lack of ability to control your emotions. Okay. And it's because you cannot design a powerful life from the outside if your inner world is undisciplined. Okay. Like emotional maturity is literally the bridge between awareness and authority. If you can control yourself, you get to keep your power. If somebody else can trigger you and push your buttons and make you react however you're going to react, they literally have power over you.
That's so true. That's so good. Yes, and it can happen in an instant, in the smallest moments. But after it's all said and done, who is the one that has now been affected? Like you, like at the expense of yourself, you have now been compromised.
Yeah. And now you end up having to do so much more work to correct the wrong. Whereas with emotional maturity, you get to keep your power by just waiting a second. You know what I'm saying? Tuning in instead of reacting out, and really considering the elements that are going on, So in this episode, we just want to get into why emotional maturity matters, and not just what it is, but also why some people stay stuck in cycles, even when they know better. Okay.
Yes.
So, emotional maturity is the foundation of self mastery. And I truly believe this because everybody wants the aesthetic, the lifestyle, the peace, the glow up, but few people really want the discipline that is required to hold together what they're asking for. And emotional
Mm-hmm.
maturity truly determines what you are able to sustain, not what you can attract, right? Because you can
Yes.
you can be managing a number of things, but if you can't keep your temper in check, if you don't know how to communicate in a respectful manner, even when you are
Mm-hmm.
done wrong, if you're not able to even just be empathetic and
Yeah.
whatnot, and you can literally lose your position. Things
Yes.
can fall
Yes.
apart.
Yeah. And also, if you don't know how to take constructive criticism, if you are quick to kind of be in denial and point the finger rather than take, again, accountability for yourself and your actions, you will actually delay your evolution. You will
True.
delay God's blessings because you're so narrow minded. And so, an emotionally mature person is going to be open to other perspectives and to maybe trying something different outside of what they're used to, outside of what is familiar.
Hmm.
Um, it's just about that openness is definitely key
Yeah,
too.
for sure. As you guys know, we do, our podcast episodes live every Sunday on YouTube and Instagram. So we do have our homegirls and homies tapping in. So ambitious. Shay says, "Woo, I'm working on it and clock it." And girl, we are all working on it. This is a thing that is a constant work in action. Like your emotions don't
Yeah.
just shut off, right? So it's the intentionality behind it and it's the awareness behind it that allows you to grab it before it grabs you. Okay.
Ooh, yes, let's talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, if emotions run you, your environment will always run you too. Okay. If you're
Hmm.
constantly triggered, offended, reactive, defensive, you're not operating in self mastery. You're actually operating in your emotional survival mode. And it doesn't even have
Yes,
to do with who you truly are
this is
today.
so good.
It
Yeah.
can be based and attached to past traumas, things that you experienced as a child. Like this is how real it is. And if you don't check
Yeah.
it and grab it before it blows up in front of your face, you will be reacting in a way that you reacted when you were 13.
Wow.
Really.
Yeah, and it actually it's bondage, but it's
Mhm.
disguised as self-protection.
That's good.
And so when we are reacting in an emotionally immature way, we think that we are like safeguarding something ourselves or like
Defending
whatever
ourselves.
is, yeah,
Mhm.
defending ourselves when, really we're just creating unnecessary conflict and actually we're sabotaging ourselves. We're
That's
sabotaging our growth.
yeah, that's true. I mean, if your inner world is chaotic and you're not doing the work to recognize your own triggers and control your actual emotions, you can sabotage peace. You will misread people, sabotage your relationships, like you said, create
Yeah.
unnecessary conflict, and really blame others instead of adjusting yourself. Right? This is
Yes,
that
that part.
emotional maturity. And there's plenty of examples of how this can happen, right? You can misread a text and now all of a sudden you are distraught and way over there when it wasn't even meant that way. And you're actually going through this pain, y'all. The pain is real. Like emotions can really have you feel in a way, but what if it's for no reason? You really just hurt yourself.
Oh my gosh, yes. That's a great point. When you're operating like this, you're hurting
Mm.
yourself.
Yeah, you are.
It is. It's like self-harm.
Take
It's
offense and whatnot.
it's yeah, you're kind of abusing yourself, but it again, it's disguised as protection, but it just you
So
end
true.
up doing more harm for yourself than any good.
Yeah. I mean, reading into tone, you know, just spiraling after a conflict. Like you may have had a disagreement, and if you're able to control your emotions and, you know, give yourself the time and space you need to breathe, journal it out,
Yes,
you can
that's
end
what I
up.
have to do. I have to do it.
Yeah, same. Because can you imagine if you don't give yourself the safe space to
Bring it
express,
to God.
bring it to God? Come on, right? Because, or
Mhm.
you end up projecting your mess onto somebody else. You end up just, you know, spiraling after a
Yeah,
conflict and losing focus because of the emotional overwhelm, taking
yeah.
everything personally and calling it intuition. Like there's layers, y'all.
It shows up in a number of ways. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So emotional
So,
maturity is learning
mhm.
how to manage your inner world so it doesn't hijack your future, right? Because that's what we're all about, is designing, okay, designing your lifestyle from the inside out.
Yes, yes. So, a key part of this topic is not centering ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
because the maturity really happens when we can recognize the context of a situation and wounds, projections, any other spiritual influences that might be at play, because it's so much bigger than just what meets the eye sometimes.
So
And
true.
so the emotionally just mature individual is going to peep those things and take time to be inquisitive and curious about what is this trying to reveal or show me, instead of maybe rushing to assume or
Mm-hmm.
judge or
Mm-hmm.
react.
Yeah. That's good. And I think it's important to note, like, when we're talking about triggers and the response that comes from it, naming the feelings that you're feeling, you know, in the
Oh
moment.
yeah.
Like
Hmm.
it can be anger, it can be like you
Jealousy.
jealousy, you can feel disrespected, it can feel embarrassing, you might feel a sense of shame.
Shameful.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And these, all of these feelings, they are uncomfortable in our bodies, right? And so that's what makes us want to just push it off and charge back and like
That's
give
good.
all
Yeah.
that same energy. Like you're not going to make me feel uncomfortable without you feeling just as uncomfortable, right? And
Hmm.
that's immature. And it's immature because you actually have a choice. You don't have to react based on your discomfort. It's okay to sit in the discomfort and note it.
Right.
If you are able to
Hmm.
take a step away and regroup yourself, perfect. Even if not, you can still table the conversation. And I love that you
Sure.
said, take it to God. Like, really ask God, like, dang, this
Hmm.
was really uncomfortable for me earlier. And I need you to reveal what's going on within me. Father, help me, like, work on this within me or uproot it completely, because this is not
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah.
This is not a fruit of the spirit. You did not give me this emotion. And it, you don't even like, I kind of have a problem with the whole shadow work um whole area, because to me, I don't think that you have to seek within darkness and keep going through your traumas. Like, no, you can actually
Hmm.
take your darkness to God and have him clean it up for you and
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
deliver you and make it as if it never happened and make it brand new. And I think that that's the type of work that God wants us to do with him, instead of just relying on ourselves or continuing to live out these same cycles and be stuck in this trauma loop and this trauma cycle. And
Hmm.
now you're unable to maintain healthy relationships, and you lack, you know, boundaries, or like you said, like you're taking things, everything personally, you're easily offended.
Hmm. This is awesome. And it really goes into our point about emotional regulation being powerful,
Mm-hmm.
but suppressing those feelings and pretending like they don't exist, not honoring our truth, is actually very detrimental to our lives.
Yeah, it is.
And we have to name the feeling, like we said, and once we name it, it's examining it, observing what took place or what arose in your spirit, and consulting God about that. And
Yeah,
so through that consultation, you'll recognize, like, God will show you, like, okay, this may be an insecurity for you, or this is connected to something in your childhood, or this is just simply not your assignment in this season. Like, this is not any of your business. It's not your burden to carry. Let it go. And he'll give you the direction that you need to move forward and rise.
yeah. I love that. And I love how you mentioned you know, the difference between suppressing it and actually, even if it's for the moment, you know, checking it and then working on it
Yeah.
later, right? Because this is what happens, y'all. When you, let's just say you get triggered and you suppress it, oh, it's not going nowhere. And the thing is, it's now going to show up in the way that you act. And this is literally how you can end up hurting your relationships, right? Because if you
Yeah.
feel a way, or if something happened with you and you do not know how to properly communicate it, or you don't know how to sort through your feelings or your emotions, what you do end up doing is either projecting, or you end up acting away with, it can be the person
Yeah.
that you love or people that you are in types of relationships with, and now you're the one that's acting funny. It's not them, because you're not able
Okay. Yes.
clearly
Hello.
communicate. Like, if you cannot sort through things or take a moment to actually confront, and I don't have a problem with confrontation. I know people tend to be passive and they'd rather not, you know, deal with
Hmm.
what is in front of them. But I think it's very important that you are able to sort through your emotions. And once you do that, confront whatever the situation is so that you can get to the truth and get to what the bottom line is and move from there. I think that is very, very important when it comes to maintaining relationships and being able to move forward after
Hmm.
disagreement or after, you know, wrongdoings or even mistakes, because people do make mistakes, you know, and I
Yes.
really do think
Absolutely.
that people deserve that communication. If this is somebody that you love and
Oh yeah.
being brought forward, it's because let's work on it so that we can move past this. Because if we can't be honest and
Hmm.
take accountability for different things, then really we can't move past it. It's not going to
We
work.
can't be in a relationship then, because it's bound to happen. Like you
Yes.
said, people make mistakes. People, um, we're human.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
human. And
exactly.
so we are in a relationship dynamic. You know,
Hmm.
sometimes things will be easy, smooth sailing, and sometimes we'll have those moments where it's like, well, this did trigger me. It could not even be like in your awareness that this triggered your friend. But again, that healthy confrontation is necessary, because just saying you're angry, you're upset, I didn't like what you did is not enough. You actually have to dive a little deeper
Hmm.
to truly preserve that relationship.
Yeah. And that's real. That's where, you know, self-examination before self-expression comes in
Right.
hand, right? Expression without examination can literally create chaos,
Chaos.
because
Yeah.
now you're saying things without even thinking about it. You didn't even consider yourself in the situation, what you
Hmm.
have done wrong or out of line, you know. And triggers are feedback. It doesn't mean it's justification. So now you can react or respond however you want to. It is very important that you do reflect on, why did this, you know, hurt me, or why did this hit me in this way? Because it can be either because you actually your boundaries were crossed and you were disrespected and you have a right to
Right.
feel away. Or it can be like, oh, I was actually tripping and I definitely took this the wrong way and I shouldn't have gone about it in that way. That is emotional
Right.
maturity.
Yes.
Be able to
Yes.
reflect and see yourself first and take accountability and move forward, or recognize, have discernment so that you can recognize, like, actually, this is not in alignment with the standards of my relationships. This is not how I want to
Right.
be treated. this does not work for me. Okay.
Yes. The boundaries are how emotional maturity shows up in real time.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have the boundary, that means that there's some emotional leakage going on,
Mhm.
and that is just chaos. It
Yeah.
is. It's going to lead to confusion, and conscious baddies are not of confusion. We are of clarity. We
Yeah.
move with discernment. We move with authority. So
Mm-hmm.
not having boundaries is going to limit us. It's going to limit what God can do through us if we do not have that um, that boundary in place, that standard in place to protect us.
Yeah. And exactly, you said it right, to protect us. People get boundaries confused. A boundary is
Hmm.
not to keep a person out. Okay? Your
No.
boundary is to protect you from the inside. When you have a balcony, the boundary is to maintain you so that you don't fall off that balcony. It's not to keep
Right.
people outside of the balcony from coming in. And so when
Hmm.
thinking about your boundaries, these are things that you put in line so that you have your own safe zone. You're aware of how you want to move, how you go about things, what is acceptable for you and what is unacceptable for you. And it's important that you have those boundaries so that you don't just go for anything. Okay. And you don't allow people to
Yeah.
play with you and, just do it in
Hello.
kind of way, because that's a no.
It's a no. It's a no. And you know, emotional maturity is going to determine the quality of your relationships, the clarity of your decisions,
It
the
will.
peace in your nervous system, and your ability to lead and build.
That's
It is
good.
such a foundational building block, and that's why we are being very intentional about focusing on this for our personal development
Hmm.
series.
Yeah. Emotional maturity is not optional for women that want peace, power,
Hmm.
purpose. Because we
Yeah,
move with intentionality, emotional maturity is literally the cost of self mastery. Y'all, this is
yeah,
really the
this is
one.
good.
So let's clock it with scripture, because what you know is we got to go to the word and back it up, because God said it first. We just repeating it. Okay. We just the vessels.
Exactly. So in James chapter 1, verse 19, it reads, "Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath."
That's good.
Mm, yep,
I mean,
it's
this verse
powerful.
clearly outlines emotional regulation as spiritual wisdom.
Hmm.
Okay. Quick to hear, like listen, slow to respond, slow to speak,
Right.
slow to wrath, slow to anger. When you feel
Yeah,
the anger boiling up, that's a trigger to breathe and
yeah.
get back inside your body and regulate yourself, right?
Invite God in.
Yes, literally. Just be like, Jesus, help me.
Invite him in.
Help me, Lord.
Jesus, take the wheel. No, literally, take the wheel. Like, I don't need to be in the steering wheel and controlling this because I might just crash. Like, I might crash out.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the steering wheel. Okay,
No,
like work on me, fix it, Jesus.
fix it, Jesus. Yes.
Yeah, that's so good, and I hope that within this episode, this was just a quick dive on emotional maturity and what your triggers are really trying to teach you,
Trying
what
to
they're
tell you.
saying to you, what they're screaming at you, because that's exactly what they're doing. But it's only for your growth, and once you guys get this, I promise you, nobody's going to be able to play with you. Like,
No,
you are going
seriously.
to have so much power, and you will be able to move
Power.
with that authority. It doesn't matter what people say to you, especially in this time of, social media comments,
Hmm.
people being thumb happy
Yeah.
with their fingers,
Yeah.
typing whatever they want. It's going to trigger you, but how are you going to respond?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You will be anchored in your authority. Amen.
I know that's right. Thank you all for tuning into another episode of the Conscious Baddies podcast. This was just the surface, but I think it's time that we get into that extended cut and dive deeper. Conscious Baddie University.
Yes, girl. You know how we do off the record.
Exactly. So join us right now over at Conscious Baddies University so we can get into a deeper dive of this topic because there's so much more to discuss and we have some real tea to share.
Yeah. Clock it. So we will see you at CBU. Mwah.
CBU. Mwah. Bye, guys.